Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is the 30th of December 2024. Welcome to our main news broadcast. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. 2 MPOX cases confirmed as cholera remain at 13. MONGU clergy call for reconciliation of HH and ECL. ZDA achieves $9.83 billion in actualized investments. In international news, 179 killed in South Korea's worst aviation disaster. And in sports news, uncertainty surrounds Mo Salah's Liverpool future. I will be back with the details shortly after this break.
And the Bible says, we are a royal priesthood.
When he comes into the world, Hebrews chapter 1.
Healing Word Ministries International invites you to a special Thanksgiving service on the 31st of December 2024 to the 1st of January 2025 from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. at the Healing Word Ministries International Church in Ibex, Kablonga, opposite Hilltop Hospital. Join us as we celebrate God's faithfulness and welcome the new year with praise, worship, and thanksgiving. See you there.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us with the news in detail. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Some clergy in MONGU are calling for reconciliation between President Hakainde Hichilema and his predecessor Edgar Lungu to foster national healing and unity. The appeal was made during the commemoration of Zambia's declaration as a Christian nation, a proclamation made by the late Second Republican President Frederick Chiluba on December 29, 1991. Speaking after the event, New Covenant Fellowship Church Bishop Daniel Like emphasized the importance of reconciliation between the two leaders for the betterment of the nation. Western Province Minister Kapelwa Bangweta, who officiated at the occasion, echoed the call for peace and unity, urging the church to work closely with the government to maintain stability and drive development across the country. The clergy believe that healing and progress can only be achieved through collaboration and reconciliation among leaders and citizens alike.
MONGU district has joined the rest of the nation in commemorating the 33 years of Zambia being a Christian nation. The 33rd anniversary of Zambia, his declaration as a Christian nation, is commemorated under the theme, thanking God for 60 years of freedom and 33 years of the covenant. Western Province Minister Kapelwa Bangweta graced the occasion.
In 1991, the late President Dr. Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba acknowledged and recognized that leadership comes from God, and whoever faith has been important for the development of our nation. So it is our expectation that this declaration will stand, the church will continue working and be supporting the government also thank the church for guidance, counseling, and the leadership.
New Covenant Fellowship Church Bishop Daniel Like has called for reconciliation of the two leaders, the Republican President Dr. Hakainde Hichilema and the former Republican President Edgar Lungu.
Whilst we appreciate the declaration, and we also appreciate that the successive presidents have also maintained it, and today we are even seeing it in the preamble of our constitution, Republican constitution. But the most important thing that I want to talk about right now is at least let there be reconciliation, let there be forgiveness, let there be peace. And once this is embedded in the lives of everyone, it will come down, it will trickle down even to other political players on the ground. So it will be meaningless and it will not bear any fruit whatsoever. So Christianity should start within ourselves as individuals and as leaders, and then go out into the public, so that wherever you go, whatever you do, you should know that you are a Christian under a Christian nation.
Meanwhile, other clergymen spoken to echoed similar concerns, stating that if the two leaders cannot reconcile, it will not mean well for Zambia to be called a Christian nation.
Whereby we need these leaders, for example, the Republican president and the former president, to come together and reconcile together. The moment they will do that, even us as followers will follow suit.
That if the president, His Excellency, the President, Dr. Hakainde Hichilema, and the 16th Republican President, under the umbrella of the church, can sit down and be reconciled.
Musiao Kabira, Camnet News, MONGU District, Western Province.
Former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu has reiterated that he has not endorsed any individual as a presidential candidate for the 2026 presidential elections. Dr. Lungu emphasized the importance of unity, dialogue and collaboration among opposition leaders as the country prepares for upcoming by-elections in Pambeshe and Petauke, as well as the 2026 general elections. The former head of state, who also serves as chairman of the Tonse Alliance, disclosed his ongoing engagements with opposition leaders to foster a united and consolidated front to present a viable alternative to the Zambian people. He clarified that these discussions should not be misconstrued as political endorsements, but rather as efforts to build a collective strategy for administration change within the framework of Plan B. The former president appealed to opposition members and supporters to focus on strengthening the alliance and avoid political manipulation or decisive rhetoric. Dr. Lungu called for continued political resilience among members of the Patriotic Front, Tonse Alliance and other stakeholders, urging them to place their hope in Plan B as the path to redemption for Zambia. The Zambia police has expressed concern over recent declarations by members and supporters of the Tonse Alliance who have vowed to defend themselves using any means necessary in the face of potential political violence if police fails in its duties. In a statement, police spokesperson Ray Hamonga cautioned political parties against engaging in activities that could incite violence or disturb public order. As the nation gears up for upcoming by-elections, Mr. Hamonga emphasized the importance of restraint and adherence to the rule of law by all political leaders and their supporters. He warned that any attempts to take the law into their own hands will be met with the full force of law enforcement. Mr. Hamonga added that the police remains impartial in its operations and is committed to upholding peace, protecting lives and property, and ensuring that Zambia continues to stand as a beacon of democracy and stability.
The Zambia Police Service is deeply concerned with the resolution encouraging Tonse Alliance members and supporters to defend themselves using any means necessary in response to alleged political violence. We strongly caution against any actions that may incite violence or breach public peace. It is important to emphasize that no individual or group is above the law. The maintenance of law and order is the sole responsibility of the Zambia Police Service, and any attempts by political players to take the law into their own hands will be met with the full force of the law. We urge all political parties to report incidents of violence to the nearest police station where they can be thoroughly investigated. The Zambia Police Service is impartial in executing its mandate. We are committed to ensuring that the law is applied fairly and equitably, regardless of political affiliation. Allegations of police bias or failure to enforce the law equitably should be formally reported to relevant oversight bodies for investigation and redress. As we approach the upcoming by-elections and beyond, we appeal to all political leaders and their supporters to exercise restraint and conduct their activities within the confines of the law. The Zambia Police Service will continue to engage all stakeholders to ensure that the electoral process is peaceful, transparent, and free from violence. The Zambia Police Service reiterates its unwavering commitment to upholding peace, protecting lives and property, and ensuring that Zambia remains a beacon of democracy and stability.
Community Action Against Corruption has urged Zambians to shift their focus from pressuring President Hakainde Hichilema to pardon individuals convicted of corruption to demanding accountability from law enforcement agencies. The group has accused the Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, of selective endorsement in the fight against corruption. Organization Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo emphasized that pardoning individuals convicted of corruption undermines efforts to combat the vice. He described such actions as a selective approach that jeopardizes the country's anti-corruption framework. The organization raised concerns about perceived bias in handling corruption cases.
We wish to advise Zambians to stop putting too much pressure on the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema to pardon people who have been convicted of corruption by the courts of law. You know, such causes have potential to destroy the fight against corruption, and they work against the fundamentals of corruption fight. So we should avoid that. Instead, as Zambians, we should put too much pressure on the Anti-Corruption Commission, Drug Enforcement Commission, and the Office of the DPP, so that they can stop their current selective approach to the fight against corruption, because these institutions, the only corruption which they can see and work on is corruption committed by the people from the previous regime. And you know, if they stop their selective approach to the fight against corruption, corruption will be punished regardless of which people are involved, and that is genuine corruption fight. We are saying selective because when it comes to cases committed by people in the current regime or allegations coming from the people in the current regime, the Anti-Corruption Commission is not willing to move very fast. For example, let me give you this example. It took only 4 months for the Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate and arrest former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo, but it has taken over 1 year. The commission is just investigating Mashom Chende, investigating Livingstone Mayor, investigating Stanley Kakubo, and they are still investigating cabinet ministers. They have not worked on the Financial Intelligence Center report. They are still investigating Minister of Defense. They are still investigating the scandal at the Ministry of Finance. So when you look at this, there is deliberate waste of time when it comes to corruption of the people close to the current regime. That is not the right way to go.
The Ministry of Health has confirmed the second case of monkeypox in Zambia involving the husband of a 34-year-old woman who tested positive last week. This brings the total number of MPOX cases nationwide to 2. Acting Minister of Health Douglas Siakalima told the media this afternoon that both patients are in stable condition and are under home isolation with close monitoring by health professionals. He urged the public to avoid close contact with symptomatic individuals to curb the spread of the disease. Meanwhile, Zambia has recorded no new cases of cholera or deaths in the last 24 hours. Cholera cases remain at 13 or in Nakonde district, with 2 children aged 8 and 9 among those under treatment and observation. The minister further announced that line ministries in Lusaka will conduct spot checks tomorrow to ensure adherence to cholera prevention guidelines as part of measures to prevent further outbreaks.
And maintaining the hygienic practices in public and trading places, including public transport. We are from now enforcing the proper cleaning of all public places. We are instructing all trading places to provide hand-washing facilities and proper sanitation facilities. All public transport needs to provide proper sanitation services. 6. Provision of vaccination to hotspot communities. Vaccination remains a critical component of our strategy. We have started preparing for vaccination of certain high-risk communities in Nakonde. Currently, we have 2 million doses of cholera vaccines in the country. Since Nakonde was not one of those hotspot communities, we had an area plan for oral cholera vaccination. We have, in a joint collaborative manner, engaged WHO, Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and other key stakeholders in mobilizing an additional 179,000 vaccines for Nakonde as we redirect what is available in country to Nakonde. Members of the press, distinguished countrymen and women, stigma, including self-stigma, have led to persons infected attempting to treat themselves at home. This often results in severe disease and even death. We therefore must focus on reducing stigma.
The opposition Citizens First CEF party has expressed concern over the reported drastic decline in tourist visits to Livingstone, attributing the downturn to issues such as the drying up of the Victoria Falls, poor management of load shedding, and deteriorating infrastructure. Party chairperson for tourism, Robbie Chazangwe, criticized the UPND-led government for what the party views as mismanagement of the tourism sector. He pointed out that the response by the tourism minister via social media platforms like Facebook only exacerbates public dissatisfaction.
This trend is a clear indication of the UPND-led government's mismanagement of the tourism sector and Livingstone in particular. The circumstances surrounding this decline are complex and multifaceted. As a minister, it is critical that responses to such pressing issues are handled with the utmost professionalism and through the appropriate channels, unlike Facebook as it were yesterday. The minister's decision to respond to a serious matter through a social media post only exacerbated the situation, fueling public dissatisfaction and anger, especially in light of the perceived mismanagement of priorities by the current UPND-led government. We in the Citizen First deem it important and fit to note that the recent appointment of some ministerial spokespersons offered an opportunity for a more structured and formal response that the minister had at his disposal. The spokesperson could have effectively managed the situation and addressed the concerns of the public through official channels rather than allowing matters to escalate through informal and maybe less authoritative platforms as it were yesterday. The recorded decline in tourism to Livingstone or in Livingstone, particularly during this year's festival season, is a significant issue that cannot be dismissed or ignored by any well-meaning Zambian. While there are various factors contributing to this downturn,
the Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, has actualized $9.83 billion in investments out of $58.78 billion committed between 2021 and 2024. Speaking at an end-of-year press briefing this morning, ZDA Director General Albert Halwampa revealed that the investments came from various sectors, including mining, manufacturing, transport, and agriculture. Mr. Halwampa highlighted the manufacturing sector as the largest contributor to employment, creating 13,497 jobs out of the 40,395 jobs recorded across sectors this year. Amidst the drought crisis, the energy sector recorded the highest investment, valued at $2.63 million. He also emphasized the importance of the upcoming construction of the Lubido Corridor, which is expected to boost Zambia's exports and contribute significantly to the country's gross domestic product, GDP. Looking ahead, Mr. Halwampa reaffirmed ZDA's commitment to enhancing investor support in 2025 to accelerate the realization of pledged investments.
$9.83 billion has been actualized, meaning that the licenses that we've issued, pledges if you like, committed investments if you like, out of those numbers, $9.83 billion has been actualized. We are so happy to announce that this is from a total of $58 billion that we've accumulated between 2021 and 2024 in terms of committed investments. So you can see that there's a lot happening in the economy. And if you look at this $9.83 billion that has been actualized, is only from 497 licenses that have been issued. We have issued in excess of 1,000 investment licenses, meaning that 2021 to 2024, we have recorded over 1,000 projects that are earmarked to be put on the ground. But only 497 projects are now on the ground. Some of them have already been commissioned. So this is a huge milestone for Zambia, for the ZDA. This should give us hope, should give us motivation as a country that a lot of good things are happening. $9.83 billion is a huge figure. Now, of this $9.8 billion, the mining sector performed the highest, followed by manufacturing, transport, services, agriculture, which accounted for $3.4 billion, $3.6 billion, $1.9 billion, US $700 million, and $487 million respectively.
A 29-year-old woman of Lusaka's Chipata compound, Mary Piri, has been sentenced to 5 years of simple imprisonment for assaulting a 14-year-old girl. Lusaka Magistrate Ami Masoja convicted Mary Piri after she admitted to beating her neighbor, aged 14, with a cooking stick on November 21, 2024. The court heard that Ms. Piri confronted the victim while she was playing with her sister, accusing her of withholding information about a relative's whereabouts. The convict then attacked the child, causing injuries to her body and left hip. The victim's aunt reported the matter to Emersdale police, leading to Piri's arrest, although she denied pushing the child into a drainage as alleged. Ms. Piri admitted to using a cooking stick in the assault, claiming she acted out of anger. In mitigation, the convict pleaded for forgiveness and promised not to repeat her actions. However, Magistrate Masoja emphasized the gravity of the offense and noting the injuries sustained by the victim and the convict's casual demeanor during the proceedings. The court imposed the 5-year sentence as a deterrent to others, with the imprisonment effective immediately. Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Paul Kabuswe, has approached the Lusaka High Court seeking an interim injunction to restrain Patriotic Front PF Function President Miles Sampa from making alleged defamatory statements. The application, filed during the judiciary Christmas vacation, requests special leave for proceedings to begin immediately, citing potential financial and reputational harm to the minister if delayed. Through his lawyer, Mr. Kabuswe expressed concerns that Mr. Sampa might continue making remarks that could damage his reputation, prompting the need for urgent legal intervention. This case stems from allegations made by Mr. Sampa accusing Kabuswe of secretly amassing wealth through the controversial sale of Mopani copper mines to new investors. Mr. Kabuswe argues that such claims are baseless and have the potential to tarnish his public image. We now take a break. I will be back with the rest of the stories. Keep watching.
And the Bible says, we are a royal priesthood.
When he comes into the world, Hebrews chapter 1.
Healing Word Ministries International invites you to a special Thanksgiving service on the 31st of December 2024 to the 1st of January 2025 from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. at the Healing Word Ministries International Church in Ibex, Kablonga, opposite Hilltop Hospital. Join us as we celebrate God's faithfulness and welcome the new year with praise, worship, and thanksgiving. See you there.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
And now for the rest of the news. In international news, a devastating aviation disaster at an airport in southwest South Korea on Sunday has claimed the lives of 179 people, marking one of the deadliest incidents in the country's history. The tragedy unfolded when a Jeju airplane carrying 181 passengers and crew crashed after appearing to land without deploying its landing gear. The aircraft skidded off the runway, collided with a barrier, and erupted into flames. Emergency responders, including over 30 fire trucks and multiple helicopters, swiftly contained the blaze. Authorities have launched an investigation into the crash, with early indications pointing to a potential bird strike that may have caused the landing gear failure. Here's a roundup of international news.
A heavy firefighter presence at the wreckage site of one of South Korea's worst aviation disasters. 179 deaths have been confirmed in the incident, which occurred at an airport in the southwest of the country. Some footage appears to show the aircraft touching down without employing its wheels or any other landing gear. It then skidded off the runway and crashed into a barrier before bursting into flames. More than 30 fire trucks and several helicopters brought the blaze under control. The plane had been carrying 181 people. It was operated by the country's most popular budget airline. Authorities are looking into what led to the accident. Fire officials have suggested it may be the result of a bird strike that triggered landing gear failure. They've also indicated that bad weather may have played a part.
An Israeli hospital said Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had undergone successful prostate surgery. Jerusalem's Hadassah Medical Center said his prostate was removed late Sunday and that he was recovering. Netanyahu's office had said Justice Minister Yariv Levin, a close ally, would serve as acting Prime Minister during the procedure. The Prime Minister's operation is over. With us is Dr. Stefan Nedo, who was the senior anaesthetist in this operation. The surgery was performed by Ehud Gnesin of Ansaf Harofer Medical Center, and with the assistance of Professor Mordechai Davdevani, and thank God everything went well. We are in the recovery room. There is no suspicion of malignancy or cancer. Netanyahu is expected to remain hospitalized for several days before returning to office.
Après des mois de polémique, le Premier ministre sénégalais a finalement pu tenir sa déclaration.
After several months of controversy, the Senegalese Prime Minister was finally able to present his general policy statement. This was a highly anticipated statement by the Senegalese people. Ousmane Sonko, who faced the deputies for over 2 hours, outlined the programme of the current regime led by Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Among the announcements are the repeal of the amnesty law, which, it should be remembered, had allowed President Bassirou Diomaye Faye and Ousmane Sonko to be released from prison by President Macky Sall. Another announcement are the concerns in the visa process with countries that practice the same policy towards Senegal. As expected, the statement left the opposition dissatisfied. Deputy Thierno Alassane Sall, known for his firm stance against the current regime, expressed doubts about the feasibility of the promises. He mainly criticised the current regime led by Bassirou Diomaye Faye. It's important to remember that this general policy statement was at the heart of a controversy between the government and the opposition, with threats of a motion of no confidence against Prime Minister Sonko. This led to the dissolution of the National Assembly and the organisation of early legislative elections, which were won by the ruling party PASTEF. This victory allowed the Prime Minister to present his general policy statement without hindrance.
Au Sénégal pour Africa News.
In sports news, speculation is mounting around Mohamed Salah's future at Liverpool as the Egyptian star ages closer to the end of his contract in June. Despite reports suggesting an extension was imminent, Salah's recent actions have reignited rumors about a potential departure. Following Liverpool's commanding 5-0 win over West Ham yesterday, the 32-year-old's future became a hot topic again. Salah has delivered an extraordinary season so far, netting 17 Premier League goals and providing 13 assists in just 18 games. He has also reached 20 goals in all competitions for an impressive 8th consecutive season.
There's uncertainty around Mo Salah's future. Will he not stay? The Liverpool forward, whose contract with the Reds expires next June, has been negotiating an extension, and according to recent British press reports, the deal seemed almost finalised. But after Liverpool's victory over West Ham this Sunday of 5-0, the Egyptian international has sparked rumours. Meanwhile, head coach of Liverpool Arne Slot insists whatever happens, it's out of his control. Salah, who's 32, has scored 17 Premier League goals and has made 13 assists in just 18 games this campaign. He has also now reached 20 goals in all competitions for the 8th season in a row. So what happens next? Fans will just have to wait and see.
On that note, we've come to the end of our main news broadcast. Before I go, let's take a look at the stories making headlines. 2 MPOX cases confirmed as cholera remain at 13. MONGU clergy call for reconciliation of HH and ECL. ZDA achieves $9.83 billion in actualized investments. In international news, 179 killed in South Korea's West aviation disaster. And in sports news, uncertainty surrounds Mo Salah's Liverpool future. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Colossians 4, verse 2. Continue earnestly in prayer, being vigilant in it with thanksgiving. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you.
And the Bible says, we are a royal priesthood.
When he comes into the world, Hebrews chapter 1.
Healing Word Ministries International invites you to a special Thanksgiving service on the 31st of December 2024 to the 1st of January 2025 from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. at the Healing Word Ministries International Church in Ibex, Kablonga, opposite Hilltop Hospital. Join us as we celebrate God's faithfulness and welcome the new year with praise, worship, and thanksgiving.